Did you know that you could go to the adjustment, okay, where you usually put the dollar amount, you can hit 12% enter. So 1, 2, the percentage sign enter, and the math will be done for you.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Hey, welcome back to the program, everybody. Dustin Harris hanging out in the podcast chair. Good to have you. Want to share with you a helpful trick or two when it comes to a la mode. Stay tuned for that. This episode is sponsored by Synapse. Synapse, of course, is helping you to make the right adjustments when you're in your appraisal process. Standard number one, folks, and number two, but mostly standard number one. How are you coming up with these adjustments? Check it out, folks. Please check it out. Go to Synapse. You can find them on the web at www.sparkforappraisers.com and then click on the Synapse button. All right, folks, I want to talk to you. I was reminded the other day of how many things that I use. How many things that I use that most people don't know about? I mean, just silly little things when it comes to a la mode or anything else, right? The helpful tips. By the way, every single month at the All-Star team, you get a newsletter. The newsletter comes in a digital version, meaning you can open it up as a PDF, right? It's a 4 or 5, maybe 6-page newsletter. Lots of information there. One of the sections I have in there, it's set up kind of a sports theme, so that will explain the title that I'm about to give you. There's a section in there called the 2-point conversion, okay? It goes off of a football theme. But the 2-point conversion is basically 2 tips that you can use in your daily life. And this happens every month. So tip number 1, tip number 2, and these are just small things. It could be appraisal related, usually is, but not necessarily. It just might be something that you can do in your life to be a little bit better or save a little bit of time, right? And we find that those are helpful to our members, to All-Star team, right? The other day when I was on our private Facebook group, okay, this is a Facebook group that we have that is open only to All-Star team members. Okay, you have to be an All-Star team member to belong. It is a very positive, uplifting group, helping each other out. You can ask appraisal questions on there. You can ask appraisal business questions on there. You can whatever. It's a great. We probably get 3 or 4 different posts per day, and then lots of comments to follow underneath. And it's just a great place, a very positive, uplifting place to share. I was on that group, I think about 2 days ago, is somebody said, and I found this funny because this is, again, things that I already knew. Things I already knew that I didn't know, people didn't know. So I'm going to share 3 of those with you today. Number 1 is, I think, the one that they pointed out, but there was a couple to follow, right? We'll start with that, and that is the ability to adjust percentages without actually having to pull out your calculator. What do I mean by that, Dustin? When you are in the grid in total, okay, now I don't know about the other software, I just know about the one that I use, but when you're in the grid in total, let's say that you want to make a 12% adjustment for the difference in condition, okay? Now I know some of you don't adjust for, condition based on percentages, and I see that that's going to include the land. I get all of that, right? But let's just say that that's what you want to do. You want to adjust a 12% off a sales price, 12% up or down, doesn't matter, okay? You want to adjust 12%. Let's say you're in the condition line, maybe the subject is a C2 and comp number 1 is a C3, and therefore you want to adjust up 12%. Did you know that you could go to the adjustment, okay, where you usually put the dollar amount, you can hit 12% enter. So 1, 2, the percentage sign enter, and the math will be done for you. Yes, you heard it right here. Okay, well, Dustin, I want to go down. Let's say that the subject is C3 and the comp is C2. Okay, fine. Negative, okay, minus 12, percentage sign, enter. Bam. I'm telling you, folks, this is awesome stuff. Another thing that's awesome is Synapse. Synapse will help you to make the right adjustments. What is the right adjustment? Is it 12%? I don't know. Let's throw it into Synapse and find out. Folks, many people ask me, well, Dustin, how long does it take? About 3 to 5 minutes. I mean, it's really easy, folks. Think how much you can save your peace of mind using 3 to 5 minutes at a very small cost. Check them out. Go to sparkforappraisers.com. And in the middle of the screen, folks, you're going to find a little blue button to find out more about Synapse, okay? It's not synapseforappraisers.com, it's sparkforappraisers.com. Click on the Synapse button. Welcome back to the program, everybody. That was my Halloween voice, by the way. We're talking about tips and tricks that you can be using in a la mode. I want to share 3 of them with you. The first was the percentage we talked about before the break. The next one I'm going to share is the F2 button. F2 button is simply the ability to take the same adjustment that you have to a comp, and everything to the right you can adjust the same way. Okay, so let's say, for example, that you have, an adjustment of $10,000 for, let's make it easy. Let's go back to condition again. Let's say that you want to make an adjustment. You're in comp number 3. Okay, your first 2 comps are the same condition as the subject. You're in comp number 3, and it just so happens that comp 3, 4, and 5 are all differences in similar differences in condition. You want to make the same $10,000 adjustment to each of them. Well, folks, if you're in the side-by-side view, you got to get there first. Okay, get in the side-by-side view, so where you've got all the comps laid out. You click on your adjustment, say $10,000 in the condition adjustment, stay in that field, and hit F2. Watch what happens, folks. It's amazing. The F2 button is another helpful tip. I know a lot of you are using these, but it surprised me on my Facebook page how many people said, "What? I didn't know you could do that," right? So I felt inclined to start sharing some of these with my loyal listeners, okay? So check that one out, the F2 button, helpful tip and trick. By the way, a lot of these you can find on the a la mode website. Just go there and check them out. They've got a lot of helpful videos, training videos out there that might be helpful to you. And finally, I want to share with you somebody else brought this up as well. It's the year built to age conversion. What do I mean by that? Well, how many of you are working on your comps, or you're working on your subject, and you get into the grid, right? And you want to convert the year built on your MLS to the actual age. Okay, so let's say, for example, that your home is built in 1979. Okay, you're in comp number 1, it's built in 79. Now you could do the old-fashioned way, and you could go 2022 minus 19. I'm actually doing this. 79 equals 43 years. Okay, so it's 43 years old. You can do that, or you could go into that same line, okay, where you would put the 43, that same field, in a la mode, and you could type in 1979, hit enter. Try it right now. 1979, hit enter. Okay, now here's the key. There's a little bit of a trick here. Okay, let's say you're doing this in January of 2023, but your comp sold in December of 2022. You gotta be careful. Okay, gotta be careful. But when you put the year built in there, it should give you the actual date, how many years old it is, without you having to even pick up the calculator. Yes, folks, you heard it here. All kinds of helpful information there on the All-Star team. Check them out. Go to my website, theappraisercoach.com/memberships.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.